Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to see array in a C languages. So to properly understand the concept of array, we need to understand this example. Suppose I am taking integer x and I am declaring x is equal to 10. Again I am declaring x is equal to 20. So you can see here that x has two values now, 10 and 20, and now I am printing the values of x. So if I run it, basically you can see here 10 is the first value, 20 is the next, but it is printing 20. So why we are getting the 20's value? Because the recent value of the x is 20. Is there any alternative to have one variable and many values to be stored in that variable? So it is possible only using an array. So array can be stored different values of same kind. It will be stored in a memory location and the storage is very much sequential. We can have finite number of variables in there, or we can say values in there in a same variable. So let us look at an example where that array can be used to store many values in a same variable, how to store it, how to access it. So let us see. So using an array, we can find the average of the marks. So if the student has there, that student in the 5 subject, what is the average marks that the student got in the examination? So for that purpose, what we need 5 subject marks. We can enter using array by taking array to be as integer marks. So here this is a data type of array and this is the name of an array. An array is declared like this. So we can say a 5 inside that box. So this is the way the array declaration. Now what we are going to do, we are going to use a for loop I equal to 0, I less than 5, as I will be started from 0 and it will end on 4 and it is strictly less than 5. So what we are going to do, we are going to print one sentence. It will tell us enter the 5 subject marks. This is just a statement slash n new line character. Now we are going to use a scanf statement where the marks will be entered, it will be stored as int, and it will be stored in array, that is marks, and we have written I, as the I will be changed from 0, again 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the address of marks of 0, marks of 1, marks of 2, marks of 3 and marks of 4, this will be the 5 addresses where these entered marks will be get stored using a scanf statements. So what is the next? Next thing is that we have to take the sum of all these. So again we have to use the for. We can go for j now. J is equal to 0, j less than 5, and j plus plus. So here the sum will be taken as sum is equal to sum plus marks of j. So you can take a j, as j will again going to take the value from 0 to 4. So marks 0 to marks 4, this locations value will be getting here. So the sum is calculated and now we have to find out average. So APG is equal to sum divided by, there are only 5 subjects to divided by 5, and finally we are going to print the average. So the remaining thing in here is we have to declare the variable as here int, which one, I comma j. These are the loop variable in case of for loop. Then the sum, it should be declared to be at 0 because we are going to use it for the calculation purpose, and average, control S. So these are the statements that are required in case of array. So this is the declaration of array. This is the way we can, write something into array, like at the memory location of array, and this is the way we can read the array. It's very simple. And finally we'll have average, control S, F11. Enter the 5 subject marks. So if I'm entering it out of 100, suppose the first subject got 90, 20, 10, again 10, and 60. So the average will be 38. We are not getting it. Average marks. You can write that sentence above. So it will not tell us again and again. Again 60, 80, 90, 50, suppose 70. So the average marks, you can calculate it, average marks is 70. So this is the way we can use the array, where this is the declaration of an array. This is the way the array is, the data is stored in array. So it always start from marks of 0, marks of 1, marks of 2, marks of 3, and marks of 4. And here we can take that values from that array to be calculated as a sum. So this is the way we can use array for calculation of average of the 5 subject marks. So you can use array for calculation of percentage of the students. You can use to calculate the salaries of the employees. You can use the array where there are many more data available. Now in case of array, there are several ways to declare it. Int, we can have array where the array's value, we don't know how many values to be stored in that array. So we can write here 1 comma 2 comma 3, and finally we can have semicolon. So we can use print f statement to print the values inside the array percentage %d, and I am going to print the value as 0. So what should be the values of that 1, right? Why? Because the array 0 has a value called 1. If I change it to, suppose, 3, what will happen? It has a value, you can see, 0. Why? Because we don't declare here how many values inside the array will be, but we have declared the values. So we can say initialize the values of array 0, that is 1, array 1, that is 2, array 2, that is 3. There is no array 3's value, so what we are getting, array 3 as 0. So if I declare here 100, so what will happen? If I run it, the array 3 will have a value called 100. So by default, the value inside the array, it is not written how the size of the array is, still it is taking it. But this is the wrong way to declare the array, where the value is not there, the array value is not there, or size is not there. Why? Because uh, the compiler don't know how many, we can say, a sequential memory or continuous memory it required to store the values of this array ARR in the memory location. So what we need to declare here, there are 5 values inside the array, or we can say 5 value is required, and then there will be a 20, and then we can say the array 4 will be the final value of the array, that will be 20, because array is always started from array 0, array 1, array 2, array 3, and array 4. Though we have written the size is 5, but it is started from array 0 to array 5. So in this way, we can initialize the array. If we don't declare the size in here, it will automatically takes some values, or we can say store, give some memory locations, allocate some memory locations to array. If we declare it here, we can say it will have the 5 memory locations for this particular array. So this is the way the array declaration is. And if you have to access the array, so this is the way to access the array, where array should be started accessing from array 0. So the initial value is for the memory location, that is array 0, and then array 1, array 2, array 3, and array 4. This will be the final value. If we print the array 5, you can see here, though you can say here the 5 values are there, 1, 2, 3, 120, but this is the value of array 0, array 1, array 2, array 3, and this is array 4. So array 5's value will be, basically, the memory location will be not allocated to that array 5, so we are getting by default it's 0. So this is the way the array initialization is, and the array memory locations, the continuous memory locations are there in case of a array. So by default, if we go beyond the array size, we'll get a 0, because the memory locations contains 0 in case of these memory locations. So we can have a function where we can pass the array element to the function. So we'll see how to pass the element to the array function. So here you can see that we have printed the value. So if I use a function in here, suppose a function is called, where we have sent the value of marks of 0. So you know the marks of 0. What is the marks of 0? That is 1. So what we are going to take, we are going to have a function, integer function, where we are going to print. So what we are going to print, we are going to print the value, that is, this is now the actual argument, and this is now the formal argument. With ANSI method we can say integer a. We are going to print a. So you can see here I have sent it marks 0. Okay, it will come into a. So mark 0 value is 1, so it should print 1. So if I, we have to write the array name as marks. You can have 1 in here. So kept in mind the name and the function calls in here.